Imagine asking a billionaire for just $1 and having that simple question completely transform your life. This is the story of a homeless man, a bold request, and how Elon Musk's unexpected response sparked a journey from the streets to success. The wind swept fiercely through the towering streets of downtown Chicago, tugging at coats and scarves as people bustled past one another, heads down, avoiding eye contact. It was a gray winter afternoon, the sun fighting to break through thick clouds, casting a dull glow over the steel and glass buildings that loomed above the busy sidewalks. Among the sea of commuters hurrying to and from Union Station, James, a middle-aged homeless man, sat quietly on a corner near a bustling coffee shop. His tattered army green jacket, patched in places and worn thin in others, barely shielded him from the biting cold. A cardboard sign rested against his knees, its message scrawled in shaky black marker. Veteran, hungry, anything helps. People walked by without a glance, too wrapped up in their own worlds to notice the man sitting silently amidst the rush. A cold gust sent empty coffee cups skittering down the sidewalk, and James instinctively pulled his jacket tighter around him, watching the river of strangers flow past. He had sat here day after day hoping for change, for some kind of miracle. But today would be different. Today a moment was coming that would alter the course of his life forever. As James sat hunched against the cold, watching people shuffle by, a sleek midnight blue Tesla quietly pulled up to the curb just a few feet away. Its polished surface gleamed even under the gray sky, and the car's presence seemed to momentarily disrupt the steady flow of pedestrians. James barely gave it a glance. Luxury cars weren't unusual in downtown Chicago, but as the driver's door opened, something made him lift his head. Out stepped Elon Musk, unmistakable in his casual black jacket and sharp features. James blinked, unsure if his tired mind was playing tricks on him. Why would Elon Musk, one of the richest men in the world, be here of all places? On this ordinary sidewalk? Musk stood still for a moment, glancing around as if taking in his surroundings, before reaching back into the car for something. James watched, curiosity stirring beneath his fatigue. A part of him wanted to look away, to avoid the inevitable sense of being invisible that came with strangers' glances. But something about Musk's calm, thoughtful gaze as he surveyed the street made James hesitate. Before he knew it, he was watching Musk walk slowly, purposefully, straight in his direction. As Elon Musk approached, James felt his heart pound in a way he hadn't felt in years. People usually walked past him without so much as a glance, but this was different. There was no way Elon Musk would stop to talk to him, right? And yet, as Musk came closer, their eyes met, and for a moment James felt seen. The absurdity of the moment gave him a surge of courage. What did he have to lose? With a dry throat and trembling voice, James called out, "Hey, can you spare $1?" The words felt ridiculous even as they left his mouth. Asking Elon Musk, one of the world's richest men, for a single dollar? Musk stopped in his tracks, tilting his head as though processing the question. James braced for rejection or maybe a dismissive smile. But instead, Musk's expression shifted into something more curious. $1? Musk repeated, almost as if tasting the word. James managed a weak shrug, suddenly unsure if this was a joke gone wrong. "Yeah, just $1, he said quietly. For a moment time seemed to slow as Musk studied him, not with judgment but with genuine interest. "Why just one?" Musk finally asked, stepping closer, his voice low and thoughtful. The question caught James off guard. He had no answer prepared, just the raw truth. Because that's all anyone's willing to give. Musk didn't look away. Instead, he nodded slightly, as though James had just said something far more profound than even he realized. Elon Musk stood there for a moment, silent, his sharp gaze fixed on James as though reading between the lines of his simple request. Then, without a hint of condescension, he asked, "What's your story?" The question hit James harder than he expected. No one had asked him that in years. Most people avoided eye contact, let alone showed interest in who he was or how he got there. James swallowed hard, unsure where to begin. After a long pause, he muttered, "Used to have a job, a life." Musk said nothing, waiting patiently. Taking a deep breath, James continued, his voice cracking. "I worked construction for years, Then the company downsized, got sick, couldn't work, bills piled up, lost my apartment. His eyes dropped to the sidewalk, ashamed to speak these truths aloud. Musk nodded thoughtfully, absorbing every word. "What happened to getting help?" Musk asked, genuine curiosity in his tone. James gave a bitter chuckle. "Help? You're on your own when you fall this far, no one looks twice." Musk's gaze softened, as if understanding that truth more than James realized. "So why $1?" Musk asked again. James sighed. "Because asking for more feels like asking too much. People shut down if you ask for more." Musk exhaled slowly, as though weighing every word James had spoken. There was no pity in his eyes, only a quiet understanding that behind every homeless face was a story the world had chosen to ignore. Elon Musk reached into his wallet and, to James's surprise, pulled out a crisp $100 bill instead of a single dollar. James blinked, staring at the bill, stunned and unsure whether to accept it. Musk held it out firmly, his expression serious yet kind. "Here," he said, "but I have a question for you." James hesitated, his fingers trembling as he took the money, feeling its weight as more than just paper. It was dignity. A lifeline he hadn't expected. "If you could do one thing to change your life, just one thing, what would it be?" Musk asked, watching James intently. James was taken aback. No one had ever asked him what he wanted, what he needed to get back on his feet. People only gave him loose change to ease their own guilt. He swallowed hard, thinking for a moment. "I'd get a place to sleep, clean up, maybe try to work again. I used to be good at fixing things." His voice was rough, but there was a glimmer of hope hidden in his words. Musk nodded thoughtfully, as if making a decision. "That's a good answer," Musk replied quietly. It wasn't just the money Musk was offering. It was a test, a window into James's mindset, and from that moment James realized this wasn't going to be an ordinary encounter. It was the beginning of something bigger, a second chance. Elon Musk stood quietly for a moment, as if weighing his next words carefully. Then, with a small but encouraging smile, he reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a sleek, minimalist business card. Just his name and a private number, nothing more. Handing it to James, Musk said firmly, "Call this number tomorrow. Tell them I gave it to you. They'll know what to do." James stared at the card, his hands trembling slightly. It felt surreal, as though he had stepped into a dream. "What is this?" James asked cautiously, his voice hoarse from disbelief. Musk looked him directly in the eyes, his tone serious now. "It's a start, a chance to get back on your feet. I can't promise miracles, but I can promise an opportunity if you're willing to take it." James swallowed hard, the weight of the moment hitting him. "Why me?" he asked quietly, unsure why someone like Musk would take an interest in a man like him. Musk's gaze softened. "Because I believe in giving people a real shot when no one else will. Someone once did the same for me. Now it's my turn to do it for you." The words hung in the air, heavy with meaning. James clutched the card like a lifeline, feeling something he hadn't felt in years, hope. And as Musk stepped back into his car, he left James with a parting message. "Don't waste this." The next morning, James sat on a bench in a quiet park, staring at Elon Musk's card as if it might disappear. His heart pounded as he gathered the courage to call. What if it was a joke? What if they hang up, he wondered. But he had nothing to lose. Taking a deep breath, he dialed the number. After a few rings, a calm, professional voice answered. "Elon Musk's office, how can I help you?" James hesitated, but forced himself to speak. This is James. Mr. Musk gave me this number. He said you'd know what to do." Without missing a beat, the assistant replied warmly, "Of course, James. We've been expecting your call. Can you come to our downtown office today at 1 p.m.? James blinked in disbelief, nodding as if she could see him. Yes, I'll be there." Arriving at the high-rise building later that day, James felt entirely out of place in his worn clothes, but no one gave him a second glance. A kind receptionist greeted him and escorted him to a sleek conference room with panoramic city views. Minutes later, Elon Musk entered, smiling. "I'm glad you called, James," he said, offering a handshake. Sitting down, Musk slid a folder across the table. "Inside is a job offer, entry level, but enough to get you started. It's up to you now." James opened the folder, emotions swirling. For the first time in years, he saw a real way out. James's first day at the Tesla facility was overwhelming, but filled with hope. The vast factory buzzed with energy, assembly lines moving, workers focused, and machines humming in perfect rhythm. Clad in a brand-new uniform, James felt strange but proud. After years of being invisible on the streets, he was finally part of something bigger. His supervisor, a kind woman named Rebecca, patiently walked him through his role, assembling small components for electric vehicles. It wasn't glamorous work, but to James it was everything. At first, the physical demands were tough. His hands, more used to gripping a cold sidewalk than handling precision parts, trembled. His legs ached from standing long hours, but every time exhaustion hit, he thought about the life he left behind and the rare chance Elon had given him. Day by day, James began to find his rhythm. He saved every paycheck, renting a small room in a shared house. Slowly, the man who once asked for $1 was building a life. His co-workers, curious at first, soon saw his dedication. Some even approached him, offering advice and encouragement. James began to hold his head a little higher, realizing he was more than his past. He was now part of a team, working towards something meaningful. And that realization fueled his determination to succeed. As James settled into his new life, he couldn't forget where he had come from. Every day on his way to work, he still passed familiar faces, men and women bundled under blankets on street corners, holding signs that mirrored the one he used to carry. Their struggles stirred something deep in him, and he knew he couldn't just move forward without reaching back to help. With his first few paychecks, James set aside a small portion to buy hot meals and basic supplies like socks, hygiene kits, and bottled water. On weekends, he would walk the streets, handing them out and sitting with people to listen to their stories, the same way Elon had done for him. Word began to spread among the homeless community about James, the man who had made it out. People saw him as a beacon of hope, proof that change was possible, even when life seemed impossible. He would tell them, "I was where you are. I know what it feels like, but there are second chances. You just need one person to believe in you." His simple acts of kindness grew into a personal mission. For James, giving back wasn't about charity, it was about dignity, about reminding those still struggling that they mattered. The very dollar he had once asked for became a symbol of hope, and now, James was the one offering that hope to others. Months into his new life, James received a call he never expected. On the other end of the line was Elon Musk himself, checking in to see how James was doing. James shared updates about his job, the challenges of adjusting to a new routine, and especially about his efforts to help others still living on the streets. There was a pause on the line before Elon said, "You've turned this chance into something real." Then, to James's astonishment, Elon offered him something even greater, a leadership role in a new initiative Musk was starting, a program designed to help people experiencing homelessness gain employment, life skills, and stability. Elon explained that he wanted someone who truly understood the struggle, someone who could connect with people from experience, and he believed James was that person. "I can't do this without someone like you," Elon said plainly. James was overwhelmed. Just months ago, he had been sitting on a sidewalk, invisible to the world. Now, he was being asked to help lead a movement that could transform countless lives. After a moment of stunned silence, James said softly but firmly, "Yes, I want to help. I want to be that person for someone else." And just like that, a new chapter began, not only for James, but for everyone who would come after him, seeking the same second chance he had been given. With James now on board, Elon Musk officially launched the Second Spark initiative, a nationwide program aimed at providing employment, mentorship, and housing opportunities to individuals experiencing homelessness. James was appointed as one of the lead coordinators, a role that gave him a voice in shaping the program's mission and day-to-day operations. His first-hand experience brought authenticity and compassion to the initiative, ensuring it wasn't just another charity, but a real pathway for people to rebuild their lives. News of Second Spark spread quickly. Media outlets picked up the story, captivated by the unlikely partnership between one of the world's richest men and a formerly homeless man who had asked him for just $1. Interviews poured in. James found himself speaking on national TV, sharing his journey and inspiring others with his story of resilience and redemption. People across the country were moved, and soon other corporations and donors began reaching out, eager to contribute to the growing movement. Under James's leadership, Second Spark began connecting hundreds of people to stable jobs, mentorship, and resources. Each success story was a testament to the belief that sometimes all a person needs is a real chance. Watching people move from despair to hope, James felt a deep sense of purpose. He had gone from a man with nothing to a leader making real change, proving that one act of kindness and one bold question could ignite a movement that spread far beyond what anyone had imagined. As Second Spark continued to grow, James often found himself reflecting on how far he had come from the man who once sat on the sidewalk, unsure of where his next meal would come from. Now, he stood before crowds, speaking about resilience, hope, and second chances, his voice steady and full of conviction. He no longer saw himself as a victim of his past, but as a testament to what could happen when someone believes in you and when you believe in yourself. James began journaling his journey, hoping to someday turn his experience into a book that might inspire others struggling in silence. He made a point to visit shelters and outreach programs regularly, sitting down to talk with people who were exactly where he had once been. "If I can do this, so can you," he would often tell them, and when he said it, people believed him, because they saw his truth. He never let himself forget the moment that changed his life, the day he asked Elon Musk for $1. But more than the money, it was the conversation, the belief, and the opportunity that had transformed everything. James knew his mission was now larger than himself. He wanted to make sure no one else would have to live invisible, unheard, or unloved. His life had become a living example of how small moments can ignite powerful change, and he was determined to keep that spark alive for others. James's story is a powerful reminder that even the smallest act of kindness can spark a life-changing transformation. What started as a simple, desperate question for just $1 became the first step toward a completely new life, all because someone took the time to listen and offer a chance. But as James often says, you don't have to be Elon Musk to make a difference. Sometimes all it takes is a conversation, a moment of compassion, or a willingness to believe in someone who's lost their way. Every day we walk past people like James, people who are struggling silently, who just need someone to see them, to care. The next time you see someone in need, don't be so quick to look away. A small gesture, a smile, a conversation, a helping hand can mean more than you know. And if you're someone who's struggling right now, let James's story be proof that it's never too late to turn your life around. So today, ask yourself, what small action can I take to bring hope to someone else? Because as James's journey shows, one spark of kindness can ignite a fire of change that reaches far beyond what we can imagine. The story of James teaches us a profound lesson about the power of compassion, second chances, and believing in people when they are at their lowest. Often, society overlooks those who have fallen on hard times, assuming they are beyond help. But James's journey shows that sometimes all it takes is one person willing to listen and offer an opportunity to completely change a life. Elon Musk's decision to not only give James money but also a chance at meaningful work highlights that true generosity goes beyond handouts. It's about empowerment. Moreover, James's transformation reminds us that resilience and determination lie within even the most broken moments. Given the right support, people can rise from their hardships and even go on to help others. By creating Second Spark, James turned his struggle into purpose, proving that those who have suffered can become the strongest advocates for change. Ultimately, this story is a call to action. We all have the power to make a difference, whether it's by offering kindness to a stranger, supporting those in need, or simply choosing to see the humanity in others. Never underestimate what a moment of compassion can spark.